Hello and welcome to my video, How to Rock in 5 Minutes. I'm going to start off by giving a basic overview of tablature and chord diagrams. Now, tablature is a layman's approach to reading music and is the easiest way to learn how to play guitar. Let's get acquainted with the layout. The thickest string on the guitar is the top string, and in tablature it is the bottom line. And vice versa, the thinnest string, the high E, is the bottom string on the guitar and the top line on tablature. Now, the reason for this is pretty simple. If you lay the guitar flat on your lap, the strings now match the order of the tab lines, and it's easier to see where to place your fingers now. Chord diagrams are similar but serve as a pictorial representation of the guitar and are rotated vertically so that the thickest string, the low E, is now on the left and the high E, the thinnest string, is now on the right. If you see a number outside the diagram, this indicates which fret to place your fingers on. There's some basic chords that are almost in every song. The power chord would have to be the one that is synonymous with rock and roll. It's a 3-note chord that is extremely versatile. It can be moved anywhere and requires the use of only 2 fingers, making it an extremely easy chord to play. The major chord is kind of a happy colored chord that is built off the power chord. Basically, you're using all strings of the guitar, but what the difference is, we've got this one little happy note here. And the minor chord is similar in that it is a power chord. However, you're not using that happy note. You're using more of a somber colored note that is built off the power chord, which tends to add some tension to musical piece. Blues progressions are relatively simple chords. This one I'm using 2 strings and pedaling 1 or 2 notes. The pattern I am changing between 3 chords, E, A, and B, and is very, very common. It's easily recognizable to anyone's ear that this is a blues progression. And without going over anybody's head, I just want to throw in a couple of colorful chords here. These are just diminished chords. They're very common in blues progressions. They just add some color to the music. The most widely used scale in modern music is the pentatonic or 5-tone scale. Since you don't count the octave, the 8th note, because it's the same note as the tonic or root note, just at a higher range, we're only counting the first 5 notes here, and then we start over. The blues scale is a 6-note scale. It's identical to the pentatonic with one single note that's different. And this is kind of a colorful note here. Major and minor scales are 100% identical save for one aspect, and that is the key they're played in. Here you see I have an A minor and C major, and they are the same scale, note for note, except that they're played in different roots. The harmonic minor scale is very similar to the blues scale in its respect that it's almost identical to the minor scale except for one note. It has a classical or exotic feel and can be played over any minor chord progression. It even has a pentatonic version of itself that can be heard in the final exposition of Eugene's Trick Bag in the movie Crossroads, performed by Steve Vai. Another unique scale is the whole tone scale. it has a sound that builds tension but never really seems to resolve itself. A great example of this can be heard in Joe Satriani's song The Enigmatic from his album Not of This Earth. Now, putting scales to proper use is only a matter of determining the key of a song. This can be done very easily by ear while practicing to some familiar music. Now, the most important lesson I ever learned would have to be visualization. This instills scale patterns into your mind while you're away from your guitar and can be practiced anywhere. For each note in the scale, touch the corresponding fingers to your thumb. Additionally, singing the note names will help you to further embed the scale into your memory. Some final tips for practicing. I highly recommend the Heavy Guitar Bible by Richard Daniels. Also, chord and scale books for referencing. You can get pocket scale charts and pocket chord books, all kinds of stuff like that. Also, a great idea and probably one of the most useful tools I've experienced with the advent of technology is Guitar Pro. You can get a demo version for free off the internet. Just go to guitarpro.com and download the demo. Then open up your LimeWire application and just do a search for GP4 files, and you will see plenty and plenty of tablatures that actually show you everything: bass, drum, rhythm, lead guitars, vocal instrumentation as well. On a final note, practice, 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 practice. Don't give up and don't quit before you've even started. I've been playing for 17 years and I still have things that I can learn. And if your fingers start to get sore or cramped, I recommend shaking them out. Also, I found a cinder block to be very useful when I was practicing long hours and my fingers would get tender. I'd go ahead and just tap them on the cinder block for a couple of minutes and get the blood flowing back to the fingertips. Well, that concludes my video. I hope you found it informative and it inspires you to pick up this very unique and wonderful instrument. So without any further ado, let's rock!